So it's time again for South Africans, that's you, to speak loudly as we get closer to the May election. Another in our series of political party town hall meetings is taking place at the Kagisanong Community Hall in Bloemfontein tonight. Political parties in that province will be grilled and put through their paces by eNCA anchor Michelle Craig. Michelle, joining us live now from the Kagisanong Hall. Michelle, how is this likely to go out, given that the Free State is the province, the hometown of the ANC chairperson, Ace Magashule, a figure who's not short of controversy?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks very much for that, Tembekile. Before we get into the cash cow for corrupt officials, which is the way that the Free State province has been referred to over the past months, let's just give you a sense of the setup in the hall as we count down to this town hall, which of course kicks off at 7 o'clock this evening. My colleague, Samkele Maseko, is here with me. He'll be chatting to us about some of the key issues we'll be putting to political parties during this town hall. But let me step out of shot and show you our beautiful setup that we have here. 5 podiums in all for the 5 political parties. 1 podium for me. I'll be moderating the discussion. And of course, we've got a whole town hall here full of chairs, which is behind the camera, which we will show you maybe a little later on. But we're expecting a full house as we give really ordinary citizens, civic society organizations, the chance to put those pressing questions to their political leaders. As you will know, there's been a lot of discussion around voter apathy and perhaps voter indecision, just a large number of people not going to the polls for the sheer reason that they don't feel like they have a political home. They don't feel like their voices even matter in making a real difference in South Africa. But let's kick off the discussion with my colleague Samkele Maseko. Let's perhaps pick up on that point, Samkele. This issue of, I don't want to call it voter apathy, but perhaps just voter confusion. And we've seen those numbers decrease over the past election substantially. In 2014, we only saw 59% of eligible voters going to the polls.
That's indeed. That also just mainly goes back to how South Africans, the voter, the electorate, views politicians, views those who are given positions of responsibility and what they end up doing or allegedly doing once they are in power in government. So it brings out, if for instance, if you were to ask young people, why don't you go out to vote? They basically tell you that politicians are busy eating their money. They've got no time for them. They don't address their issues. For instance, I was speaking to some elderly people. They are saying that apathy that they had to go to the voting station in 1994 to vote for Tato Nelson Mandela back then is no longer there. They don't know what they are voting for today. They don't know what they will do on voting day. And of course, there are those undecided voters who are registered, who are eligible, who are sitting at home, who are undecided. And those voters largely end up staying away on voting day, which has largely increased and added to the decreased number and percentage that we've had over time since the 1994 election till to date of the people who actually turn out who are eligible on voting day.
So here we are in the Free State. It's our 4th election town hall. It's the place that saw Ace Magashule as premier of the province for 9 years. He was chairperson of the ANC, I'm going to say around 20 years, 18 to 20 years. And you used the word allegedly there, where you were talking about politicians eating our money. That's how the young people are describing politicians. And we use that word carefully, and it's because no charges have been brought. No one has been brought to book in this province alone. Hundreds of millions of rands meant for service delivery lost to corruption.
You can name many things that have allegedly gone wrong in this province in the hands of Ace alias Sekgobela Magashule, the former premier and provincial chairperson. This is effectively his home. He's from this province. You've had Mxolisi Dukwana, a former MEC in the province, a former official of the ANC in the province, going to the Zondo Commission of Inquiry into state capture, testifying and alleging of all the wrongdoing that were happening in the Free State at the behest of and the approval of alias Sekgobela Magashule. So it basically tells you of the things that have allegedly been going on. The very same metro which we are in, Mangaung Metro, its former mayor, Thabo Manyoni, allegedly says he was taken to the Guptas by Ace Magashule to go and Ace Magashule told them there to work with the Guptas. These are all the issues that have been happening in the Free State. You've got the Brandford House of Mama Winnie Madikizela Mandela, which was meant to be refurbished and turned into a museum. That money has gone missing. Certain people have eaten that money. Nobody has been held accountable. The process so far is not yet clear where they are with that particular house of Mama Winnie Madikizela Mandela. What we do know is that it was taken over by the Department of Arts and Culture nationally, and Minister Natim Turtle was going to oversee the refurbishment of this particular home of which Mama Winnie Madikizela Mandela was banished to. Nothing, nobody has been brought to book yet, but the ANC has asked to be given another chance, and no update has come to the fore. Then there's the Free State Dairy Farm issue, which has also raised a lot of alarm bells. The former MEC of Agriculture in the province, Msebenzi Zwane, later on Minister of Mineral Resources, he has been implicated in this particular saga. The former director within that particular department, he or she has also been implicated in this particular saga. Elias Magashule as well, the premier of the province, his children have also been implicated in state capture and corruption in the province. That would be his daughter and his son, Tsepiso Magashule, who is in business and is employed by the Guptas, or was employed by the Guptas, because they're no longer in the country. We don't know what's the status of their business operations in the country. So it tells you all of these allegations of corruption, nepotism that have been ongoing in the province. And then, of course, there are dysfunctional municipalities. 100% of them, by the AG's reports in 2016-2017, are dysfunctional and non-functioning properly. But the million-dollar question, you may place all of those issues at the doorstep of the governing ANC in the province, but what have the opposition parties been doing about this? What have they been selling to the public and to the electorate so that they get an allegedly corrupt government, which they say is corrupt in the Free State and in all the reports that we are seeing? Yes, of course, nobody has been charged. What are they doing?
Well, I mean, that's the issue, isn't it? I mean, the opposition parties, they sit in meeting after meeting at the Municipal Public Accounts Committee, where the sole purpose of those gatherings is oversight. So where was the oversight? These very important issues, and perhaps as we go, we'll give you that final shot of the empty hall. Linge, if you'll just show our viewers as we continue to wait for civil society organizations, ordinary citizens, political parties and their members to come and take their seats here at the town hall as we kick off at 7 o'clock this evening. We are in Mangaung.
Michelle Craig moderating the latest in the eNCA series of town hall meetings taking place at the Kagisanong Hall in Bloemfontein.